Welcome to I Love a Hoarder. I'm Chutney Whye, a licensed acupuncturist who's been treating anxiety for 30 years. If you've been here before, you know the recurring character in my life is an anxiety-ridden hoarder partner. Living with DingDing is like cohabitating with a human storage unit that occasionally screams into the void, and sometimes the void answers back. Last weekend, I thought it would be romantic, maybe even therapeutic, to take DingDing on a spontaneous outing. Now, if you've ever tried to plan anything spontaneous with someone who has generalized anxiety and an obsessive need to hoard obscure Asian condiments, you know spontaneity is, aspirational. You can't just say, let's go for a drive. No, there's a full pre-flight checklist. Is there parking? Will it be crowded? Can we bring our own snacks? Will there be weird textures? Will there be weird white people? All valid, all exhausting. But I had a plan. A little offbeat, a little sweet. Let's drive through Hollywood Forever Cemetery. Peaceful, historical, maybe calming. Well, spoiler, it wasn't. If you've never been, it's actually beautiful, Hollywood Forever. Palm trees, koi ponds, old mausoleums, and celebrities buried with old-world elegance. Well, so we're cruising along in silence, blessed, peaceful silence, when we pass Mel Blanc's tombstone. Now, Mr. Blanc, he voiced Bugs Bunny, Porky Pig, all those Looney Tune characters. In his epitaph, that's all, folks. So DingDing suddenly goes stiff, hands to cheeks, and she whispers, "So, that man is really gone? Like, never coming back? That's all, folks?" And just like that, we're off. What if death is just blackness? What if I die and I don't even know I died? What if I disappear and I don't remember being me? I'm gripping the steering wheel like it's a flotation device. DingDing's eyes are wild. We're 30 seconds from a full existential hurricane. When this happens in the car, I have two options: philosophical judo or snacks. So I go with what works. I pop open the glove compartment and reveal the holy trinity: a jar of shrimp paste, a vacuum-sealed pack of seaweed crackers, a plastic knife. DingDing gasps like she's seen an old friend across a crowded train station. She cracks open the jar. And that's when it hits me. The smell. Friends, I'm a Catholic white boy from the Midwest. My spice palate tops out at Parmesan cheese and penance. So when that fermented fish paste hits the air, my entire body revolts. I leaned out the window and projectile vomited onto a plaster bust of, I'm guessing, Ethel Merman? Oh, and DingDing, unfazed, chewing calmly. Existential crisis gone. Like a monk exiting a salt cave, holding a seaweed cracker instead of enlightenment. And I'm left with a scorched throat wondering, how does a 3-ounce jar of seafood sludge have more power over my partner than therapy, meditation, or reality itself? Welcome to my life. I live with someone who treats cemeteries like portals to the abyss, but thinks hiding dried squid in the sock drawer is disaster prep. And weirdly, it works. Because for DingDing, this isn't just hoarding. This is ritual. It's a system. Her anxiety isn't always soothed by deep breathing or acupuncture needles. Sometimes it's soothed by the taste of home. Shrimp paste is DingDing's emotional support animal. I've begged her to see a hoarding specialist. One day I'll win. But until then, nothing grounds DingDing like that first cracker. Now, this brings us to the sauces. Our kitchen is home to a literal mountain of Chinese condiments. When I asked why we have enough fish sauce to survive the collapse of civilization, DingDing shrugged and said, "It's backup." That sounds eccentric, but DingDing's not alone, because hoarding is anxiety in physical form. It shows up in all kinds of people in all kinds of ways. Neatly folded paper bags, piles of old receipts, every Tupperware lid ever made, none of which fits anything anymore. But here's what I've learned after decades of work and 25 years of DingDing. Hoarding is not about stuff. It's about fear. It's about the uncertainty beneath the stuff, the what ifs, the void. For some, it starts with scarcity. Maybe they grew up without not enough. Or love. Maybe love was conditional. Maybe there were parents who left or stayed physically but checked out emotionally. So they attach to what doesn't leave. A rusted pan might outlast a parent's affection. A stack of magazines won't ghost you. And trauma? It turns the brain into a threat detector, always scanning, always preparing. So they don't just stockpile soup cans, they build emotional fortresses. You see clutter, they see safety. You see chaos, they see control. Anxiety is the engine, and hoarding is their attempt to say, I'm ready. I won't be helpless this time. But, here's the kicker. The more you keep to feel safe, the more overwhelmed you become. It's a feedback loop wrapped in bubble wrap and shoved behind a closet door. DingDing once insisted on keeping 11 unopened boxes of wasabi peas in case the grid goes down. I said, DingDing, wasabi peas are not going to rebuild society. She blinked and said, and you're basing this on what research? So, no, hoarding isn't laziness or greed. It's not really about possessions at all. It's about soothing the nervous system with something tangible when the emotional world feels like a minefield. And for those of us who love hoarders, we learn to see meaning in the mess. When I look at DingDing's stash of sauces, I don't just see jars, I see memories. Moments when she was a little boy and didn't feel safe. People who vanished. Panic attacks calmed by the sting of pickled goop. It's not rational, but it's real. So yeah, welcome to my world. I live with someone who treats cemeteries like portals to the abyss, but will face that abyss seaweed crackers in hand, like it's a shield against entropy itself. And that, well, that's magic. That's why I keep a jar of shrimp paste in my glove box, even if it makes me want to cough up my internal organs. Because you never know when that vast eternal void might just whisper, that's all, folks. Well, that's all for this week, dear friends. If you laughed, cried, or gagged, go ahead and subscribe, give 5 stars, whatever lets me know you're out there. And I'll see you next time. I'm Chutney Whye, and this is I Love a Hoarder. Say hi, DingDing. Say hi, DingDing. Close enough. Close enough.